early in the season, we saw you have some bumps when you lost Charity. You had to sort of use that block of vote to kind of protect yourself. Then we hit Merge. How did your game change after Merge?
Yeah, once I got to the merge beach and literally nothing was going how I wanted it to, and I wasn't winning challenges, I really had to rely on my social game. I couldn't play a big strategic game, and unfortunately, I was not able to come away with some big challenge wins. So I relied on what I'm good at, and I did a great job like building relationships. It looked like forever I was playing from the bottom, that I had like zero like true relationships out there, but I found a way to get into the majority alliance. Even though I was on the outs of it, I was able to survive so many votes where the most logical person to go home should have been me. But because of my ability to build relationships and to not blow up my own game like so many other people did before me, I was able to get to the six. And I felt like from there, I would be able to hopefully sneak my way into the final three. And ultimately, I didn't get to play the big strategic game I wanted, but I played the cards that I had. And I knew that if I was sitting at the end, regardless of what game I played. Like, regardless of what game I played, I felt like I had a great shot against anyone.
Yeah, the edit was a little confusing because we heard you were a target, and then a few episodes go by, and all of a sudden, Joe's like, "Oh, I've got a six with Mitch and Camilla now." And I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, wait." So clearly, you were, edging into that group thinking you were a part of it, yes?
Yes. The first day we got to the merge beach, the first two conversations I have, I go up to Shaheen and I go up to Joe. And I said, hey, I want to play with y'all. I want to build a relationship with y'all. I want to build trust. And I knew that I was never going to be one of their closest allies in the game, but I immediately knew who was going to be in control of every vote. And because of my ability to make people think I was going to work with them and I always was going to do what they told me, like it ultimately put me in a position where I was deep in the game and could have went on an immunity run.
When Jeff asked you if you prefer people help you with words or give you time, for me, I thought that was a beautiful learning moment. But how did you feel about that making it into the edit?
Man, I was so thankful. Like truly from the very first conversation I had with Jeff in our interviews to get out there, like he truly just made me feel so comfortable. And I'm so thankful he gave me that moment to not only like process what what was the most comfortable thing for me with the people I was playing with. But I'm thankful that he gave me that moment to share with the whole world because so many people do want to help and support you. And sometimes they just aren't sure how to. So it just goes to show you that if you're unsure of the best way to support someone, like just asking and giving them the opportunity to share like truly can go a long way.
And what do you hope that viewers are able to take away from watching your experience?
Man, I hope that people at home get to see me living out my biggest dream. I have been wanting to do this since very early on in the show. So I'm hopeful that people would get to see me overcoming so much to just get to play Survivor. Like, there are thousands of people who apply to come out here and play Survivor, and to be one of 18 selected is a huge accomplishment. As a person who's stutters, like, every conversation is incredibly hard. Now you throw me in a room full of 40 executives from CBS and Survivor, and most people would crumble. And it just goes to show you that even if you have never seen someone who looks like you or talks like you living out their dream or your dream, it doesn't mean it's not possible. It just might mean that you have to be the very first one.
And now you're being thrown into a full day of like talking all day long, right?
All day long, it's the best.
So this final tribal for you, you get a heads up that this will be your last. That was so sad to watch. I'm sure it was heartbreaking for you in the moment.
Yeah. Oh man, on day 24 with me and Kyle and Camilla, who I felt so close to, we finally had them the majority. We had been talking about taking a shot at Joe or Eva for so long. And without when Joe didn't win immunity, I was like, oh, this is great. Like, we can throw Joe under the bus. He has been perceived to be the biggest threat in the game. But um, at the six, it kind of switched. Like, you could tell the jury wasn't wanting to vote for either Joe or Eva. And
Mm.
Kyle and Camilla together were able to process that and realize it made more sense for one of them to sit next to Eva and Joe. And I think it just goes to show you that my relationships that I had with people, even despite not playing the best game out there or the most strategic or the biggest challenge threat, winning so many immunity challenges, like, it just goes to show you that I was a threat if I made it to the final three, that the four biggest so-called players like weren't wanting for me to even sit at the final three.
You say before you walk out that you have no regrets. Is that still accurate looking back now?
Yes, I played the best game I could to get me in a position to be sitting at the final four with a shot at getting to the final three. I might not have been able to beat a couple of the people still left in the game. Who knows? Like, who knows what could have happened if I ended up getting there? But if I would have changed one move, there is no way that I even get close
Mm.
to there. So unfortunately, when it mattered the most at the final five, like, I just couldn't get it done.
And you were working with Kyle and Camilla. I mean, you were with them from early days. Were you able to see, though, how closely they were working together?
Yeah. So after every conversation I had with Kyle or Camilla, both of them would say, all right, I'll get back to you. I'm going to go and have a conversation. So I knew how close they were. It made zero sense for me to blow up either one of their spots because those were the only two people who I trusted. And unfortunately, my social relationships with each of them separately were not as strong as their strategic relationship.
What has this whole experience meant for you?
Man, I am so thankful for the opportunity to get out and play and live out my dream. I'm so thankful for the team at CBS and at Survivor for seeing something special in me. And I just hope that all the viewers at home are encouraged that if you want something bad enough, regardless of your circumstances, for you to keep chasing it, even if it doesn't make sense to anyone else. Like, I tried forever to get out there and I got rejected so many times, but I think it just goes to show you that you never know how close you are if you give up. So I'm thankful for the experience. I'm proud of the game I played. Wish it would have ended up differently, but I felt like I was true to who I am. I competed incredibly hard. I proved to myself that my speech impediment is something that is so unique and it doesn't have to be a weakness. Like, I was able to use it to build relationships and I was able to share my story in a way that made people want to get to know me and want to keep me in the game.
Mhm.
So I'm so thankful for this experience.
Well, it was so much fun to watch you, get to know you, and I really appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much, Sharon.